I am not a TBR person. I never make monthly TBRs for myself. I am just such a mood reader and such a chronic DNFer. I just thought I would never be able to stick to them, and it would just end up annoying me more than actually helping me and being fun. But recently, the last few months, I've had a change of heart. I really want to experiment and make a monthly TBR for myself and just see if I like it. If I hate it, I never have to do it again. And specifically, what has been getting me lately are TBR jar videos, where you put a bunch of TBR prompts in a jar and then you pull one out and you use that to pick your TBR. I just think they're so fun and a fun way to mix up what you're reading and maybe read things you wouldn't read or read things sooner. It just looks so fun and I have FOMO, so I'm gonna try it. Again, this could be a fail. I could hate it. I could end up reading none of these books. I don't know. I do think I will do maybe a reading vlog or a video at the end of the month, maybe during my wrap up, where I'll talk about if I actually read my TBR or not. Hopefully I will. I mean, I'm gonna try, but I just don't know how this is gonna go. So I think I'm gonna start small and pick 4 TBR prompts for maybe like 6, because there are books that I want to read in January already, and so if I can fit any of those books into the prompts I pull, I'll do that, and then I'll pick a few more. But if I can't, I want to keep it small so that I still have room to read the other books I know I want to read in January. So I have my little jar here. It's actually not a jar, it's like a Tupperware container, and I'm gonna blindly reach in and grab one. Oh, I have my TBR cart over here that you can't see. I really didn't feel like moving it. I have to be honest. I have my physical TBR over there. Honestly, my physical TBR is not that big, so I don't know how many physical books I'll even end up with. But I also have my phone that has my Kindle library and my Goodreads. That's usually where the bulk of my TBR is, so I have that on standby. I'm gonna go in and pick one. Why am I scared? Okay, hang on. Over 500 pages. Okay. I know it immediately. Last month, I started the Crowns of Nyaxia series. The first book is The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and then I also read the novella that goes in between that book and this book, The Ashes of the Star-Cursed King. I mean, it's so thick, it has to be over 500 pages. 605 pages, perfectly. I already wanted to read this because I just started the series, and I've been really into it. It's a vampire romantasy, and the first book, there were these trials and games that she had to survive, and then the ending to that one was kind of crazy. And then also reading the novella in between, now I'm getting the backstory of new characters that are going to be introduced here, and I'm just really excited to see where the story is going to go, how everything's going to play out, and also to meet the characters from the novella in this book. I think it's going to be really fun. Honestly, I've heard mixed things about this, which sucks because I loved the first book so much. I gave it 5 stars, and I'm still hoping that I like this, and I definitely want to continue the series. So number 1 is The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. Okay, number 2. A book you've had for a long time. Okay, I might have to go over to my physical TBR for this one. I also have books on my regular bookshelf that I haven't read. I mean, what's considered a long time? I feel like I'm not in the mood for any of those. I have a physical book I might read, but I'm also gonna go on Goodreads and look at books that I marked as want to read the longest ago and see if any of those catch my eye. There is one book that's on my Goodreads and on my shelf that I've had for so long that I should read, but I don't want to. All of these are from so long ago. Okay, the physical book that I picked is also really far down on my Goodreads, so I'm just gonna go with that. It's Know My Name by Chanel Miller. One of my goals for reading this year too is to read at least 1 book a month that challenges me, so a nonfiction or a classic, something like that, something out of my comfort zone basically. So I think this will be perfect. This is a memoir of Chanel Miller, who is the victim of the Stanford essay case, which I believe happened in 2016. It was a very big deal. She was unnamed for a really long time, that's why it's Know My Name, and this is her memoir about that experience, and specifically I think dealing with the legal system and the court system after that happened. He, from what I remember, got like 6 months or something disgusting, even though there were like many witnesses, and it's just like a horrible, sad story. But I've heard that she's an excellent writer and this is a really good story, and I have been meaning to read it for a really long time. I bought this years ago. Oh, I bought it at the Strand. Okay, I only bought it 2 years ago. I don't know why I thought I bought it like a million years ago, but very excited to finally hopefully get to this one, because I have literally never heard a bad thing about this book. I've only heard good things. A book talk fave. Okay, that's a fun one. Let's see. see. What's book talk been loving recently? I feel like I need my phone for this one. Like I haven't seen really one specific book. I don't even know. I weirdly don't have as many for this as I thought I would. I thought I would have a ton to choose from, but apparently I don't. I think I'm gonna pick A Dance of Thieves. This is another fantasy. Honestly, do not ask me what it's about because I don't know, but I have been seeing it everywhere, I feel like, for quite a while. This is not like a new book, but I haven't read it yet. I think there's a war and she's a spy and she's like sent to spy on the prince of her enemy or something. I do not quote me on that. I have no idea if that's accurate, but it has been on my TBR for a while and I have been seeing it everywhere and it sounds really good, so I'm gonna go with that. All right, that was already 3. I feel like that went by quick. Maybe I will end up picking more. A book with travel or vacation. Okay, I'm very excited about this because this is one of my favorite things in books. I love when books have travel or vacations, and I think I know which one I'm gonna pick. I just have to check the release date. Perfect. Release date January 28th. I'm counting it. It's Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. This is a marriage in peril romance where I think they've been together for a really long time. Yeah, they're high school sweethearts. They've been together for 17 years. But their marriage is not doing well, so they decide to sign up for this hiking retreat, couples therapy type thing in the woods, and I think this looks so good. I loved Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I read that last year and I just think this looks so fun and a perfect fit for this prompt. Very excited about that. Okay, that was 4. I feel like I have to do 6. I feel like that wasn't enough. Also, I'd rather have more options and not read all of them, you know, because I am a mood reader. I kind of wanted to end up with like 10 books anyway, and then I probably won't read every single one. But next is a book with a number in the title. I feel like I have to have something. Oh, perfect. This was one of the books I wanted to read anyway. One by One by Ruth Ware. This is a thriller where she goes on a company retreat and then I think they get snowed in and they start dying one by one. I've never read from this author before. It just sounded really interesting and I think the perfect vibes for January, just snowy and wintry. I'm really excited to get to that one. Okay, I think this is the last one unless I miscounted, and if I did, then whatever, I don't care. Color wheel chooses based on color. Okay, I'm just gonna Google a random color wheel and then whatever color it lands on, I will pick a book that matches that color the best I can. Okay, spinning. Orange. Okay, kind of a hard one. Like orange isn't a super common cover color. Oh, perfect. This was also one already on my list, and that's Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone. This is actually an ARC I have. It doesn't come out until March. Unfortunately, I'm sorry if that's annoying, but because I have it as an ARC, I want to read it as soon as possible. This is a romance where she loses her best friend and she's really grieving, and she gets a job babysitting this little girl, and the love interest is the little girl's uncle, and she makes this live again list, which is basically like a bucket list to try and help her live her life to the fullest and grieve. And I think that he starts helping her with the list. It's set in New York City, which I love. It sounds really fun. It also kind of gives me single parent trope nanny vibes, which I love, even though that's technically not what it is. I feel like because she's babysitting his niece, it'll kind of have the same energy. So I'm very excited for that one. I'm glad that I could fit it in. I'm trying to think, do I want to pull more? This is fun. I'm not gonna lie, I'm having fun. Let me think about how many books I have left I want to read that I didn't fit in here. No, I'm not gonna pick any more because now I know that if I have too many that I feel like I have to read, I'm gonna get stressed. So I'm gonna stop with 6, but there are a few that are on my TBR separate from this. So the first one is Red Rising. My friends and I are starting a book club, which I genuinely could not be more excited about. And this is our first month, our first book. Our first meeting is early February, and the book is Red Rising. Everybody nominated a book and then we put it into a wheel and chose randomly. So Red Rising won, which I'm happy about because I have heard really good things about that. I don't know specifically what it's about plot wise really. I just know it's a sci-fi and I've heard it's really good, and I have to read that this month because it's for our book club. So that's definitely going on there. That's a must read. I cannot read it. And then I also really want to read Beg, Borrow, or Steal by Sarah Adams. This is part of the When in Rome series, which is a series I really love. Specifically the second one, Practice Makes Perfect, I really liked, and I just love this world and the town that these books are set in. It's very Stars Hollow and it is just the perfect small town vibe. This series follows siblings, and this is one of the sisters who's a teacher, and I think she's secretly a romance author, and she accidentally emails the principal of her school one of her manuscripts, and she has to team up with this other teacher to help the principal not see it. I don't know exactly, but I think they're like rivals, they don't get along, and it just sounds so cute. I just know Sarah Adams is gonna deliver. I love being in that world, and I think it's been like 2 years since the last book came out, so very excited for that. Also very high up on my TBR. Oh, I just got a notification that my copy of Red Rising will be here soon. Very exciting. And then I have 2 more arcs that I would like to get to this month if I can. They also don't come out for a while. One's April and one is May, so I have time. I would just like to read them sooner rather than later. So one is My Best Friend's Honeymoon by Meryl Windsor and Main Characters by Hannah Orenstein. I think that was it, and I feel like that's a pretty good TBR. I think that's like 9 books, 9 or 10. I don't know, I forgot to count. I'll figure it out when I'm editing. But that was actually really fun. I enjoyed that a lot. I did accidentally put one of the prompts back into the jar, so I'm gonna have to go dig that out. That was a lot more fun than I thought, honestly. Like, picking them out like that, very fun. I'm excited to see if I stick to it. I honestly feel good about all those books. It's a little bit more than I normally read in a month numbers wise, but I'm also going on a trip this month, so I will have a little bit more free time. So I think I could get most of these read. I don't know, I don't want to get too cocky. Again, I've never done this before, but I'm excited to see and to do this little reading experiment. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to find out if I actually read these books, come back at the end of the month. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.